when you were introducing, I got kicked out of I guess I kicked myself out of the nest early. We did a bunch of different businesses. I'll tell you someday about that metal refinishing business, but you just do what you got to do sometimes, when you decide to leave home, it's like it's just not as nice as it used to be. It's the real world. So we're going to be talking about the real world tonight a little bit. I am absolutely humbled to get this opportunity to be with you tonight, because the information I'm going to share with you, I know can have an incredible impact on your life and other people's lives, because it's done that for me. And I was introduced to this information, as Colton said, a few years back. And we weren't really looking for we didn't think we were looking for anything, but we know that events happen in all of our lives. We were going through some different events. And those events, whether it's brought on by our own decisions, or maybe sometimes things happen to us that are really not in our control, but they still affect us. And so we were being affected, and we got some information, listened, and acted on that information. And that's why I enjoy sharing this with you guys tonight so much. I do know that, as I said, these things that happen right now around the world, there's a major event going on that's having an impact on people's lives. When I was really young, there was a gentleman that had a huge impact on me. In fact, I kind of ended up doing a lot of the things in life that he did. At a very young age, I got to see him start businesses, and I got to see him interact with either bankers or business partners, and it was incredible. He did a bunch of different things. In one day, we may be down at the shrimp boats, guys. I'm just a boy from a small town in South Louisiana. Now I live in Florida now, but I'm just from a small little town in South Louisiana, and amazed that things have played out the way they have played out for us. And that's one of the things that excites me about telling this story, because LifeVantage has had a big role in that. But anyway, back to my story. On one day, we may be down at the shrimp boats that he owned, or over at the ice factory that he built for the shrimp boats. You see, his boats weren't getting ice fast enough, so he wanted his boats out first. So he ended up building the ice factory so his boats got the ice first. On the same given day, we could come back to town and we'd be at his car dealership or over at some rental property. And so you could see that this guy had an amazing mind for business. And I watched his decisions, and I watched the way he got to live, and I wanted that. Some people, his business partners called him EJ. His friends called him Buddy, and I called him Grandpa. Yeah, pretty cool, right? So unfortunately, he died when he was 56 years old. And that had a massive impact on our family, massive impact. He died of cancer, and I was very young. I thought he was pretty old because I was very young at the time. Right now, I know 56 is very young. And so I saw how his passing had an effect on my grandmother, my mother, and the business in our life around us. And that plays into our story tonight. I learned business from him, and I also learned how precious our health is, and that we should never take for granted every day, and that if there's anything you can do to improve your health, improve the length of your healthy days, how much impact that can have on people. You see, I was just 9 when he passed away. What if he'd lived like 10 more years? I mean, the difference between a 9-year-old and a 19-year-old is massive. The influence he could have had on me was, who knows what I would have been doing if I'd have had 10 more years, but I didn't. And so I'm excited to share with you tonight something that maybe you don't know about, that science is telling us could possibly do just that, improve our health span. And if you stick around, I'm going to share more of the story about how any entrepreneur would just be blown away if they truly knew how amazing the opportunity that's been put in front of us is. So I'm going to teach you a couple things tonight. I'm going to teach you about some cellular switches, kind of like electrical switches in your house. I mean, could you imagine living in a home without switches? Like you maybe would have to go to the end of the driveway to turn the power on, and all the lights would come on and all the lights would go off, or something like that. It'd be crazy. Like, you can't even imagine going through life without switches in your rooms in your house. But people go through life not even knowing they have cellular switches, and definitely not knowing that they have control over those switches. We're going to talk about that. We're going to also talk about a company that is switching it up, a company that's doing things differently, allowing people who are, do you know any people that are just kind of frustrated right now with making money? I mean, there's a lot of people right now that have uncertainty about their income or money. And even when things were good, most people didn't like what they were doing, kind of forced to do what they do to make money. And that's not a way to live. And I'm going to teach you about a company tonight that is open arms to entrepreneurs, people who are looking and giving us an opportunity to play on a big scale, Colton kind of talked about some numbers that my wife and I do in our business. We'll talk a little bit more, but we're talking big scale stuff. Now, certainly, it's up to everyone to do what they do with the opportunity, but I'm excited to deliver the information. So let's jump into this. Let me share my screen with you, and I'll take you through a PowerPoint tonight that kind of simplifies things. Let me click a few buttons so that everything shows up the way it's supposed to. Here we go. Let me share the screen. And let's see, there's the play button. Okay, so Colton's told you the company is LifeVantage, and he's already given you the disclosure, so we won't bore you with that again. So we're going to be talking about these switches tonight. I told you a little bit about cellular switches and electrical switches in your home and how similar they are. And just like in your home, if you flip the switch, it makes life easier. Well, if you flip your cellular switches, we know you're going to feel better. And when you feel better, you're just able to do more. The problem is today, people are just bombarded with our environment. And it goes beyond sometimes the choices you make. As the PowerPoint was showing, you know, sometimes maybe the city that you live in, you maybe not even know what is in the water anymore or in the air. Or personally, there are things that are happening to us because of our decisions, maybe the food we eat or the things we drink or maybe how much time we spend on these things, and so on and so forth, that are kind of hijacking us, right? And taking control of our bodies or the way we feel. Did you know that since the Industrial Revolution, there's been over 85,000 chemicals that's been introduced to us? It's just staggering. Speaking of my grandfather, you know, being in South Louisiana, I don't know if the statistics are still, but there was more cancer in South Louisiana than anywhere else in the world. And it's because of the Mississippi River and how industry uses the Mississippi River to produce a number of things. But all of that kind of filters through into the Gulf of Mexico. And I lived right down there on the Gulf of Mexico. And that's just one of many, many instances that will just go to show you that things are different now. We have to deal with things now that we didn't have to deal with, or our parents or grandparents didn't have to deal with 4 or 5 decades ago. And it's something that we should take seriously. But when you do your best to eliminate these things, sometimes our best isn't enough, meaning like diet and food and exercise. And when these things start to happen, we call it dimming the lights, right? You know, a room that's lit up and bright versus one that's dim. And over time, our health is like that light that kind of dims down, right? It doesn't happen overnight. You know, when you're, listen guys, I'm 48, so I know the difference between 20 and 48, okay? Let's just put it there. And at 25, you don't feel it. At 30, maybe you feel some things, but at 40 or 45, you feel different than you did when you were 20. You just do. That's kind of the dimming of the lights, right? But what does it feel like when the lights start to dim? Well, you know what it feels like, or can't remember where you put your keys, or maybe you start a sentence and you can't finish the sentence. Maybe you feel like, you know, you're just tired and sluggish, or, you know, I know for me, prior to flipping some switches, it was motivation. Like I could go get some things done on task, but not for a long period of time. That's what it feels like when the light starts to dim. But what's really happening? What's the root cause? What's the problem? Well, we're going to address a few things tonight that outlines the problem. One's oxidative stress. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you're not. Secondly is mitochondria decline. That's the energy factory in our cells. And something called sirtuin, which is a topic that I just really recently have dove into, and I'm loving what I'm learning, and I'm loving how I'm feeling now. So can't wait to dive into this a little bit with you guys tonight. Science has already discovered that there are genes in our bodies that have the ability to keep our bodies healthy longer. And that sounds good to me, right? And so if you could flip a switch, like the switch in your house, for your health, would you? And the answer is, of course you would, just like the switches in your home. And so let's talk about oxidative stress. Watch this apple. Something maybe you've done, you've taken a bite out of an apple and you don't consume it all right away. And when it sits there, it starts to turn brown. Well, why is it turning brown? Well, it's turning brown because of oxidative stress. Now, the same process is going on inside your body. Your body has the ability to fight this oxidation with antioxidants. Did you know that your body produces its own antioxidants? Most people don't know that. Most people take antioxidants. But unfortunately, over time, your body produces less and less and less antioxidants. And that's why science and nutritionists for decades has said, because antioxidants are good for you, and they know they decline over time, you should supplement your body. You should supplement the antioxidants in your body. And that was good advice a few decades ago. But now we know we can turn that switch on. You can turn the switch on to something called the NRF2 pathway, and we do it with 5 plants. The product is called Protandim. There's 5 plants in this product. We flip the switch on, and we know that in just 30 days, we can reduce that oxidative stress, that apple turning brown. We can slow that down and reduce that by 40%. I mean, that would be cool if we could do that with a lot of things, right? Just slowing down how fast things deteriorate. But when it comes to our body, that's not cool. That is important, all right? And so Protandim, the NRF2 synergizer, as you see in the apple, it starts to protect it. You see, the apple's okay until you cut it or you take a bite out of it. Once you've broken that protective barrier, the skin, it's open to oxygen. And that's what's going on in our cells. And you have the ability to protect the cells if you will flip that NRF2 switch. I have flipped the NRF2 switch, and it has a massive impact on my health. Washington State University says that the NRF2 switch, the pathway, is likely the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future. NRF2 may become the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of health, guys. That's Washington State University, speaking of NRF2. And we know that our product induces NRF2 activity. How do we know? Well, I'll get to that in just one second, but this graph is amazing. Here's what you need to take away from us, this, guys. As you age, your antioxidant production, the ones that are in your body, declines over time. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you're 20, 40, 60, 80, if you're taking Protandim, your body is producing those antioxidant enzymes, and that's exciting. And the science that we have is mind-blowing. You can go to a website if you're the, I guess, the researcher types. Go to pubmed.gov, and you'll see these studies. I mean, these are big-time schools: Virginia Commonwealth, the American Heart Association, the National Institute of Aging, Ohio State. Guys, it goes on and on. Texas Tech, American Heart Association. It's unbelievable, the science that we have. And these studies aren't studies on just the NRF2 pathway. Guys, this is studies that if you go in that search engine and you type in Protandim, our product that allows you to flip the switch. Like I told you, it was as easy as flipping a switch. Guys, it's a tablet. It's one tablet. Swallow the tablet, guys. It's that simple, right? And your body will start to produce these enzymes and slow down the oxidation going on. It's really, really exciting information. So then we took a look at some other switches, right? Now, we did years and years and years of research around NRF2, but once we knew what we had there, why stop? So we began to look to see what other switches we could turn on. And we found a way to turn on the energy switch, that's your mitochondria. And we also found a way to turn on your sirtuin activity. And I wish I could talk for hours about sirtuins, because it's really hard to get your sirtuins to do what they're supposed to do, but not with our product. So mitochondria decline, guys, you're familiar with your cell phone. That happens to your cell phone, right? You talk all day, whatever, you're on your social media feeds, and the battery drains. Like, could you imagine not charging your battery every day or every other day or 6 times a day, depending on, I mean, you can't even imagine that, right? And so this is what's going on as we age. The mitochondrial activity in our cells are being affected, and your body has the ability to reverse that. Your body has the ability to fix some of the slowdown of your mitochondria. Why do I know this is a problem? Because for years now, if you go into any convenience store, there's racks and racks and racks of energy drinks. Guys, your body is, and they're full of sugar and they're full of caffeine. Your body is not deficient in sugar or caffeine. People are using those things as stimulants because they want the energy, the effect. But we know those are bad for you. We know there's a lot of other things that come along with those type supplements. The way to address the problem is fix the mitochondria. If your mitochondria are doing what they're supposed to do, then, you know, you've seen kids run around, right? Like, you know, where do they get the energy? It's their mitochondria. So do you want that? Yes. You fix it with the NRF1 pathway. So again, we were able to flip the switch with plants, guys. You'll see the theme here. No synthetics, plants. You flip the switch. It's called Protandim, and we are able to increase the production of the NRF1 gene by 70%, guys. Super exciting stuff, right? And so when you're doing that, as your body starts to fix the mitochondria, naturally the energy reservoir begins to fill. And what's the result? As I said, when you flip the switch, you feel better. And when you feel better, the result is you do more, like a lot more, guys. And so the last one I'm going to talk about is your Sirtuin decline. So it's kind of like the gunking up in the brain of the cells. And when I say the brain, it's because of what I feel the most. Having high levels of Sirtuin activity in your body is good for your entire body. But when it comes to our product, NAD, guys, when you're able to activate the NAD pathway, for me, it has given me an unbelievable edge in life. Mental clarity that I haven't had in years. Mental focus and drive. When people say, well, how do you feel? I feel mentally powerful. My mind doesn't slow down. Around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, typically before this product, I just didn't have the drive. I didn't want to take on more projects. And now that's like a peak time for me. And it's because I've degunked my body. by increasing the sirtuin levels in my cells. It's amazing, guys. We are able to increase sirtuin levels by 100% in 24 hours. And I would love to tell you how other people try to do this. One of the only other ways to do such a thing is caloric restriction, which is not good for me. Like reducing calories is not fun. I'm Cajun. I don't like to reduce calories. Okay. And so I like food. I don't like eating like 500-600 calories a day. That's just not me. And I don't think it's you, but I would like the effects of it. So when you reduce your calories, your body produces more sirtuins. Well, I don't want to reduce calories. I want to take our NAD product and get the same effect. That's what I want to do. And we have. By doing this, your body increases the sirtuin levels, the gears in the brain get degunked, and all of a sudden the wheels are turning. It's quite amazing, guys. And when you put all these things together, degunking of the cells, the mitochondria filling up, and oxidative stress slowing down and the cells protecting themselves, let me show you the science and the results. So I won't spend too much time here, but what you're seeing is a graph of the 3 products I've highlighted: our NRF2 product, our NRF1 product, and our NAD product. And you see in all of these in gray, when you take the products individually, in gray, you see the increases in production of these enzymes. When you take all 3 of them together, there are massive synergistic effects. Massive. These, I tell people, guys, like, be ready when you take these products because it has an impact. Like if you haven't been jogging for a couple years and you go and say, hey, you know, jogging or exercise is probably good. I'm going to go walk or run for 3 miles. You're going to feel that, right? Your body has to adapt. It's good for you. The exercise is good, but your body has to adapt. And the same thing's going to happen when you take our Tri-Synergizer. It's amazing. Your body adapts. Once it adapts, it is like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what these products do when you take these things. And so, are you ready to flip the switch? Well, of course you are, because it supports positive mood and motivation. I would love for more of my loved ones to take this product. It improves mental focus. I love that it improves your vascular system. I also love that it improves your healthy anti-inflammatory response. That's a big, big buzzword, guys. And when you can support that healthy anti-inflammatory response, your body just feels absolutely amazing. And for all my athletes out there, recovery is everything. You know, the workout's great, but recovering so you can do it again is how you get stronger and faster. These products certainly have helped me recover. Ask the person that put you on here about how they feel. You know, this brings me a person of mine. Her name is Sherry. She was a Division I athlete in college, and over time, just started not feeling well until the point where she got and she knew good eating, she knew exercise, but it wasn't working until she found our products. Our products, by flipping the switch, changed her life. I get to share that story, and I love having her interviewed because it's so powerful when she tells that story about how she just really didn't know this even existed. And when it was introduced to her, she tried it, and it changed the way she felt forever. And so super excited to be able to share that information with you as well. Our Protandim Tri-Synergizer, guys, it's free shipping. Free shipping. Oh, and by the way, the only way you can get a 30-day money, guys, listen, okay, a 30-day money back guarantee with free shipping. You have absolutely no reason to not try these products and start to flip these switches. It is absolutely amazing what this company has done to put this together for us. And you saw some of the prices on here. They're affordable, guys. These products are not outrageously expensive. And in today's world, certainly being proactive is important for our health. And so let's shift gears. I told you I was going to talk to you about 2 things. We've talked about flipping the switches. Let's talk now about a company that is doing things way different than any other company I'd ever been introduced before. As Colton said, my wife and I did a bunch of different businesses, metal refinishing. That basically means that we cleaned elevators at night, all over the state of Florida. I got tired of the night work. Got tired of the chemicals. I bought into a automotive business, automotive restoration business. We were pulling dents, painting cars, fixing the interiors, doing the headlights, all that stuff. We franchised it. I was investing in real estate all during that time. And so we did a bunch of different things. But one thing that absolutely has had a massive impact on me is the ability to partner with LifeVantage. And so we've told you a little of the story. This story is much bigger. Like what I just told you is massive, but what I'm about to tell you makes it even better. The company is called LifeVantage. It's 11 years old. And we're headquartered over in Utah. That's why Colton's in Utah. We're publicly traded on the Nasdaq, okay? That was a big deal to me, that this company was publicly traded, because I'm kind of a control freak. Like, I own my own businesses. And if I was going to partner with something or someone, it was a little awkward for me. But the fact that it was publicly traded kind of gave me a little warm and fuzzy feeling. That just meant that there were some really smart people watching over. Like, guys, we are governed by a board of directors. Some of these executives come from Coca-Cola, Airbnb, Amazon, SC Johnson. There's some amazing, amazing brain power. I may jump the gun here. I think I will, but Aaron Brockovich is also on our board of directors, like the Aaron Brockovich. If that doesn't scream coolness and authenticity, I don't know what is. And never in history, guys, talking about trends, like if you want to know a business opportunity, you need to be in front of a trend, right? Never before in history have people been more concerned about their health than right now. It's a daily topic. And the increase is huge in revenue. You can see how wellness has outpaced all these other categories. And the categories that we have products in represent over $600 billion in revenue. Yes, I've only talked to you tonight about our flagship products, Protandim, but we have other products that you should inquire about. We have products that will help you with specific health goals. Maybe you want better skin. Well, we use the same science for skin. Maybe you want better hair care. Guys, all of these products we have, in all of them, we use cutting edge science, like our activation of cellular activity, these cellular switches, to get the results we want. And so it represents over $600 billion in revenue. And yes, I would like to get my share of that. And that's why I'm excited to partner with this company. Guys, in 2017, people were more concerned with how they looked than how they felt. And just a year later, that flip-flopped. And I wished I had the statistics for 2020. It's not over, or 2019. I'm sure that's even a greater margin now. People are concerned about the way they feel. It's really the perfect business model. And I can tell you that from experience. We had traditional business. I had employees. I had, the whole deal where it's golden handcuffs. You can't go on vacation because you're worried what's happening at work. Guys, I get to work wherever I have a cellular signal or my laptop has Wi-Fi. Okay? That is incredible, especially right now. This is my home. I'm in my home right now. We have a virtual office that has all the infrastructure in place. Like, you don't have to worry about the websites. You don't have to worry about the marketing team, the legal team, the shipping department, the operation. That's all done. We get to do what's called social sharing today, which is enormous, guys. We have people in our organization literally that build their entire business through social sharing. You have an online store. We get daily bonuses. And one of the things that I think makes this so special is the low entry cost, because I paid the high entry cost before. Someone has asked me before, well, what makes this different? Well, one of the biggest things that makes this different is the low risk, like low entry point financially, to be able to say yes and do this with us. We'll get to that in a second. Colton talked about the average annual earnings statement or disclosure. This is it. I want to talk to you about 3 specific areas in numbers. On the left, they probably don't mean much to you because it's just a number, Pro 3. But I want you to look at that 3rd column. It says average monthly commissions at each paid rank. Our Pro 3s, which are doing about $5,000 a month in organizational volume, are earning $600 on average per month. And the average time to get there is eight months. Can you imagine just 8 months from now being able to have an additional $600 in your account? What could you do with that? What would you do with that? I know that's huge because I came from the real estate world prior to LifeVantage, and I know what happened in the past with foreclosures, and people were losing their homes, the statistics tell us, because their income dropped by $300 a month. So I know how big of a deal $600 is a month. It can really have an impact, and you can definitely do it. The next one I want to highlight is our Pro 5s. Our Pro 5s, guys, are earning an average of over $3,000 per month. And the average time to get there is 16 months. You know probably people that went to college that are not earning $3,000 a month. Went through all and still probably have the student loans, okay? But the average time to get there is 16 months. That is and can have a massive impact on a family's financial situation. Part-time, it's called the gig economy. That's what my wife and I did. We did this alongside our other businesses. As we built our LifeVantage business, we still were running our others. The last one I'm going to show you is our time, 30 months. Less than 3 years, guys. And so it took us nearly 20 years to build businesses, selling them and buying new and employees and all that. Almost 20 years of all that, all the lying and the almost 20 years. We did it with 2 years in LifeVantage. So when people say, is that a real business? 17 or 20 years in traditional business, and I was able to replace it in just 2, and the average is 30 months? Guys, this is mind-blowing what's in front of you. How do you join us? If this sounds interesting to you, you're like, okay, just tell me what I need to do. Here's what you did in Enrollment Pack. Get an Enrollment Pack, guys. The starter packs are $50. You're not commissionable with that. You can become a distributor, but you're not commissionable. I want to set you up for success. Get a pack. The silver pack is like a bare bones pack, in my opinion, to start earning commissions. It will get you our Pro Tandem line. It also gets you some other cool products that we're using that I use every day. The gold pack is where I think you start to step into really kind of being serious about being successful in this business, in my opinion. It comes with more products and more savings. And the platinum pack is the one that I purchased years ago. You see, think of it this way. This is a massive opportunity, and you just need to ask yourself, how much of an opportunity of this do you want? How much of this do you want? Because think of this as your grand opening. Would you open a restaurant with just 2 things on the menu? Or would you open the restaurant with the full menu or more than 2 things? And see, that's what this is. Do you want just a couple products to share? Because the more products you have, the more variety, the more customers you will get, the more business partners you will get, because you're able to share that and they get to enjoy the products. And then, as you know, when people find products they like, they will use them, right? And so I suggest you get the platinum pack. Can I do this? Well, it's something I was asking myself, and I know how you feel because I felt the same way. We had never done this before, guys. We had never done anything like this before. And, I just didn't know if we could, but here's what I found out. Here's what I found. I found that this company has a global customer support system. I didn't have to do it. We have a super simple system called ITT. It is so good. Even I could do it. Running all the other businesses. And by the way, yeah, I was married. Colton's like, he's married. Yeah, I've been married like for 27 years. 2 kids. Guys, when we started this business, we had 2 kids. They were, like 4 and 2. And I had 6 corporations, 6 different tax returns. Thank goodness we had ITT. It was super simple. You can do ITT. We've got meetings that are going on nowadays through Zoom, just like this, every day of the week. There are presentations and trainings going on every day of the week. We have corporate events that are mind-blowing events. Can't wait to get back to see all my amazing friends. We have incentive trips that send us all over the world. And we have support communities set up that really you can find out exactly what it is you need to tailor your business and really take advantage of the opportunity. So can you do this? I know you can do this. And the last thing I'll kind of share with you is just how big this thing really is. Like most of the things I had done in my life prior to this were just, you know, I was kind of in my own little world. Maybe you've done that, right? And I just worked hard. I gave good services to people and we got paid because of it. I had no idea what can happen when you partner with something and other people that's bigger than you. Guys, this is big. So let me just tell you kind of how big this is, right? A couple of things, right? And I'm going to go through kind of a timeline. Back in April of 19, the company was given some awards for one of the best places to work, but I'm going to take you through kind of some expansion. You'll see the dates. Erin Brockovich, I mentioned that. She joined us May of 2019, right? So we just had that 1-year anniversary. That was awesome. We've been given awards for our products. We were also added to the Russell 3000 index for all you financial folks. If you're not a financial person, just go figure out if that's a good thing or not to be a part of the Russell 3000. We've launched in other businesses, New Zealand. I heard some folks on from New Zealand tonight, so glad you're here with us. Record reporting with this company that led us to being able to be recognized on the Nasdaq. The closing bell, guys, the company rang the closing bell on, you know, the Wall Street, guys, like the real deal, right? This is big. We are the title sponsor for Real Salt Lake. By the way, I saw those guys on ESPN just a few nights ago. That is so cool. The team they were playing had a target on their chest. Yeah, like Target. Like, you know Target. But you don't know LifeVantage, but you should. And now you do know LifeVantage. And now you get to partner with LifeVantage, like for real partner, not to go shop at their aisles like Target, like partner with LifeVantage, right? And you can see the markets we're in. We're not just a US-based company. We are all over the world and expanding. Super exciting. And on top of all that, the company does some amazing things for people around the world. One of the programs that I really enjoy, I did get to go down one year and plan to do some more, are the homes we build and give away in Mexico. Just a super awesome thing that we do down there. Just cool to give away homes to people who weren't expecting to have anything like this in their life. So it's fun being a part of something this big. It's something I could have never done running my own businesses, to partner with a company like this and have the impact that we're able to have. And so where do you go from here? Well, maybe you need some more information. Maybe you want to become a customer. Maybe you want to join the team. And I'm going to tell you, you don't have to pick. I didn't. I did all three. I got a little bit more information. I got back with the person that put me on here and I asked some questions. And as soon as I got those questions answered, I was ready to go. I became a customer and a distributor. And so it's up to you. Where do you go from here? It's exciting because, you know, so many stories come back to mind. Maybe you see a picture over my head. Some of these folks behind me, these people are business partners of ours. They become part of the family. But more importantly than that is the impact it's had on their family. Like a guy I know really well came back from an investment out of the country, and he was left with literally like nothing. And Fred's like saying, like, what am I going to do? And I had just heard of this opportunity. And I said, Fred, you ought to take a look at this. And he did. And so after saying yes, he left himself with less than about $400 to his name. But he said, Brandon, I got to do something. Like, I've got to change something, Brandon. And so I introduced him to this. He said yes. Now Fred and his wife, Casey, are Pro 8s and Pro 9s in this company. Go back and look at that income earnings statement. They went from having $300 to their name. Go look at the average income of a Pro 8 and a Pro 9 in this company and see if this company and partnering with them wasn't a good thing for them. And I know it could be a good thing for you. What I didn't tell you in the beginning, guys, is we've had things happen to us personally outside of the story of my grandfather. My wife and I back in 2009 were just rattled financially. We were heavily invested in real estate, and 13 homes gone overnight, $1.7 million in equity gone, like in 6 months, gone. The renters were gone, but the bank still wanted their money. I was 37 years old, and I saw all that money disappear. And I'll take full responsibility for it, but there were things going on bigger than me in the economy. And I am so grateful that I was introduced to this company, because now, because of this company, I was able to erase all of that and now have surpassed where we were 10 years ago. And it's because of partnering with a company like this. And here's the reason I tell you that story, guys. Things are going to happen. Things happen to me, things have happened to you. But what happened to me in 2009 rattled me so hard. And maybe some things are happening right now in your life that have rattled you. I made a promise that when things happened in the future, my family was going to be okay. And because I said yes to this company 10 years ago and started building alongside my other businesses and finding people who thought and wanted some of the same things I wanted, we now are in a situation where it's unfortunate what's going on around us, but our lives have not been impacted the way they were 10 years ago when the financial crisis happened around the world. And I am so grateful that I said yes to this company and I started building. We call it digging the well before you're thirsty. You see, I was pretty thirsty then, but I was never going to be thirsty again. Maybe you're thirsty and it's time to drink. LifeVantage is amazing. And I hope you get back to the person that invited you on this webinar tonight. Maybe ask some questions, maybe sign up as a customer, maybe you join us as a distributor. I suggest you do all three. You guys have a great night, and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Thanks, Colton. I'm going to kick this back over. Actually, Colton said for me to end it. So that's it, guys. I'm going to stop the share there and come out of here. You guys have a great night tonight. Get back with the person that put you on here. Sorry I went a little bit long tonight. I don't typically talk that much, but I hope you got something out of it, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.